Have you ever felt like you're putting in all this effort, showing up, doing the work, but it feels like nothing is changing? Like you're stuck on a treadmill, moving but never getting anywhere. If that resonates, trust me, you're not alone. Today, I want to help you understand why change often feels so slow, and more importantly, how to stay motivated when you feel like giving up. The reason change feels slow is partly psychological. There's something called the progress principle. We humans tend to focus on the big, ultimate goal and overlook the small wins along the way. Think about it. If you're trying to build confidence, you're probably fixating on the fact that you still feel nervous in certain situations. What you're not noticing is that last week you wouldn't have even spoken up and today you did. These subtle shifts are progress. They're just harder to see because we're wired to look for big, obvious results. And then there's the compounding effect. Real change works like planting seeds. At first there's nothing visible above the ground, but underground roots are growing and spreading, creating a foundation for future growth. It's the same with personal development, health, relationships, everything. Change is happening, it's just not obvious right away. But because we live in a world of instant gratification, we often misinterpret the slower process as failure, and that can be incredibly discouraging. Here's where I want to share something powerful from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. He says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That's sinking for a moment. It's not the big lofty goals that determine your success. It's the small, consistent actions you take every day that build the foundation for that success. So if change feels slow, ask yourself, are your systems setting you up for progress? Because that's where real magic happens. Another trap we fall into is focusing only on results instead of the process. Imagine you're climbing a mountain and all you do is stare at the peak. No matter how much you've climbed, it feels like you've barely made a progress. But if you stop, turn around and look back at the path behind you, you realise just how far you've come. That's what most of us forget to do, acknowledge the journey. When my clients tell me they feel like nothing's changed, it's usually because they're measuring success by why isn't my life completely different yet, instead of what's one thing I've done differently today. Progress is subtle. It's in the habits you're building, the way you respond to challenges, the little decisions that add up over time. And when it feels hard to take those small steps, remember what Simon Sinek says, dream big, start small, but most of all, start. The big changes you're dreaming of may feel overwhelming right now, but starting point is always within reach. It's about taking that one small action today that aligns with where you want to be tomorrow. So how do you keep going when change feels frustratingly slow? Start with this. Celebrate the micro wins. Every single day, take a moment to recognize one thing you did differently, one step you took. Maybe you pushed through a tough workout, set a boundary in a conversation, or simply took 5 minutes for yourself. Write it down. These small wins build momentum, and momentum is what carries you forward. Next, focus on consistency, not perfection. It's not about nailing it every single day. It's about showing up more often than not. If you're consistent, even imperfectly, the compounding effect will work in your favor. Small actions repeated regularly create massive change over time. Another thing to remember, reflect on how far you've come. Pause and think about where you were 6 months ago, a year ago. What's different? Maybe your mindset has shifted, or your reactions are calmer, or you've developed habits you didn't have before. Sometimes you have to zoom out to see the bigger picture. And above all, be patient with yourself. Growth isn't linear, it's messy, full of highs and lows, but every step matters. When change feels slow, remind yourself that it's not about how fast you're going, it's about the direction you're headed. Let me leave you with this thought. When it feels like nothing is happening, it's usually a sign that something is happening. Change often works quietly beneath the surface, shaping your mindset, your habits, and even your identity. Think about a caterpillar in a cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing's going on, but inside, there's a complete transformation taking place. That's you right now. You may not see it, but trust me, it's happening. Here's my challenge for you. Over the next week, write down one small win every single day, just one. It could be saying no to something you usually say yes to, or finally starting that project you've been putting off. Keep track, and by the end of the week, look back and see how those little victories add up. If you've been feeling stuck lately, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and share where you're at in your journey. Let's support each other. And if this message resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone who might need a little reminder to keep going. You're closer than you think. Keep moving, small steps lead to bigger changes over time. You've got this. Until next time, take care, stay resilient and keep growing. I'm Dr. Rakesh Rana, the Clear Coach.